Okay, I'm interviewing my cousin. She's 15 and she's from Birmingham and she went to a Black Lives Matter protest.
Hi.
When did you go to your protest?
I went in early June and I was in Washington, D.C. because that's where my mom's side of the family lives, and we were up there visiting and we saw people protesting, and so we went with them to go protest.
Wow.
Yes. It was crazy.
Was there a lot of people?
There was a few hundred, I'd say.
I feel like that's a lot.
It wasn't a huge protest.
Was it like really soon after George Floyd's death, or was it like later on?
I'd say it was a little after it happened. It was early June.
Were people like holding signs and stuff?
Yes.
Did you?
And everyone was chanting.
Were you chanting?
I mean, not really.
Why?
I mean, I think, because personally, I think it was kind of dangerous that we attended, and I don't really know why my aunt brought us down there.
Why would you say it was dangerous?
Because it could have easily gotten out of hand, and thankfully it didn't, but, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on at that time, like people robbing stores and setting things on fire, but I'm glad that didn't happen when I was there.
Why do you think that some of them turned into riots?
Because I think people were mad that there was no justice for him, and so they just rioted because that's the only way that they could show their emotions and prove a point.
Yeah, because they were like so angry.
Yes.
So, what do you think that it's like okay that they did that? Like the rioters?
I don't think that the way they handled it was well by violence, but eventually you just have to get your point across one way or another. So at the end of the day, it made a difference, didn't it? So,
I mean, yeah, you're right. That was a good point.
yeah.
So
Stop laughing. So, you better cut the video.
Okay. So, what were like some of like the main like themes of like Black Lives Matter, like some of the main things they stand for?
Well, obviously they stand for justice for Black people, and they stand for what's right, because a lot of people are saying like all lives matter and all that, but like all lives won't matter until Black lives do. So
Explain that further.
what do you mean?
What do you mean by all lives matter won't matter until
Because the reason is because they don't get as many privileges as white people, and my sister's laughing at me, but they won't get as many privileges as white people, and so the only way that everyone will be equal is when, you know, everyone will be equal when people stop being racist and killing Black people for no reason.
what ways are like white people privileged? Like what do you mean by that?
they've been privileged for
And give like
years.
examples.
Like, they don't have to worry about, like, next question, please. I can't give an example. I literally can't think of one. But just like,
Okay, well that
people
seems like it's not true then.
well, it is. It's just like, I literally can't think because I'm nervous. But like, just like,
Aww.
where, by how they act, by how what people think of them, and like,
Yeah, like racial profiling and stuff.
yes. Any other questions?
Well, we still have like 10 minutes left.
You're joking.
I was scared to tell you. I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
Oh, do you have any more questions for me about the protest?
Oh, about the protest? Okay, yeah. Let me ask more questions about that.
Yeah.
So, like, how long were you there?
I was only there for about an hour because it started getting dark. And we just had to go home because it was just getting a little out of hand. Like, people were starting to throw rocks at cars. Like, it was bad.
Are you serious?
Does it look like I'm kidding?
They were throwing rocks?
Yes, and in another protest, they were spray painting.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but there was another protest where they were spray painting like monuments in DC and writing Black Lives Matter all over it and stuff.
Wait, I did not know this.
Yeah.
Was there like cops at the one you were at?
Yes, there was cops surrounding everywhere. We just marched down the street in like the main area.
Like near the White House?
No.
Where?
It wasn't near the house. You're thinking of when all those Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. I'm talking about the opposite thing, honey.
Are you a Trump supporter?
No.
What do you think about President Trump and how do you think about what do you think about like police brutality and stuff? Like, do you think it's being like handled or it was being handled under like Trump?
No, I don't think that anyone should defund the police at all. Like, I don't think that should be a thing. But definitely police need to be trained more on how to be more, like, open and just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, they need to be trained how to control how they act. Like, they can't just go killing people for, like, a counterfeit check, possibly. Or there was another story a couple weeks ago, and this girl thought she got out her taser, and she got out a gun instead and shot this guy. Like, and he was black, and it's just, I don't know.
Like that doesn't happen to white people.
Exactly, and I think that they should be more, like, they should be more, I wouldn't say considerate. Like, do you know what the word I'm talking about? They should be more, like, open. Like, their eyes should be more open to what they're doing. And it's only white cops doing it to black people. It's not black cops doing it to black people.
That's weird.
Any more questions?
I'll think of like two more. I think that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you for interviewing me.
You're welcome.